Hello again, this is Jesse with another Unboxing Board Games. This time we're going to take a look at BattleLore. This is the English published version by Days of Wonder. BattleLore is another Command and Colors game by Richard Borg. This game, the English version is out of print, and the BattleLore name has been bought by another publishing company, I believe Fantasy Flight, and they've begun publishing games under the same name. And I also believe that the French version of the game has been redistributed in the U.S., so you might not find the English version of this game, but the French version of the game is still more available. You'll see the big sticker on the box saying that there's English cards inside and that the English rules are online. I just want to make you aware that you're looking at the English version of the game, and although I believe the French version is pretty similar, there may be some differences that I'm not aware of. So inside we've got a English rule book, full color, lots of good diagrams, troop movement and whatnot. So this is going to be the rule book that details all of the rules that are going to be referenced in some of the other materials of the game. For example, this adventure booklet here shows you the different scenarios, and what they're going to do is introduce new game elements each new scenario. So the first couple, they just introduce some terrain elements. There's some more terrain elements in the third one, a river and some bridges, and then they've got special rules in this one. And by about the fifth one, they introduced the War Council. And so it's kind of like a video game where they start you off small and build features of the game and get you familiarized with all the concepts. Here's a reason why they're probably not publishing this game in mass numbers anymore, is I didn't put any of these together. All of these miniatures, they came like this. So the stickers on the flags, they're all there. The posts are in the bases. So that's a really nice production quality there. Now you've got a bunch more miniatures in here. These don't have the flags in the bases, but you don't need that. As with, say, Memoir 44, the units are comprised of several figures to represent the unit's strength or health. So not all of these need the flags anyways. So the game is pretty much fully assembled. You've got some brackets here to hold your command cards in. And these are War Council cards for the two players. There's a big map. Let's see. So it's double-sided. This side here is going to be the normal side that you play with. The other side is made for people who have either two sets of the game or know someone else who has a copy, and you'd be able to combine two of these boards into one massive board. You can see it's just half of the board on this side, half of one huge board. So let's focus on this side of the board. The other things in the box, you get terrain tiles. And the adventure board is going to tell you, the adventure booklet is going to tell you how to lay out these tiles according to the scenario. You've got War Council tokens. And these are going to go on those War Council sheets, basically indicate the configuration of your War Council. And special BattleLore dice. Oops. They're all the same. You get different colors on the sides. You get the commands and color retreat flag. And with this game, the different unit types are represented by different colored flags. So you might, it represents like the unit's strength or training, their armor, things like that. So I believe the green guys are weaker, so the infantry, the green infantry might have very light armor. I'll show you some of those. You can see how lightly armored this guy is compared to the blue. He's the next strongest. And then the difference is even more pronounced with the red, because it looks like he's got some field plate armor with some chainmail and stuff. So according to what you roll on those die will determine whether or not you hit the strength of the unit that you're targeting. There's some tokens here for your lore tokens and some additional in-game tokens. You got terrain pieces here, like the bridges and things that you could put on the board depending on the scenario. One thing that I really like about Richard Borg's games in this series is you get these cards, kind of like Memoir 44, where they outline the rules for, say, the wooded terrain, or the foot units, or units with the bow and arrow, or the goblinoid race, bridges. So you don't have to go flipping through the rules book. And so as you're building on the new rules in the scenario booklet, you can kind of keep these out if there's a new rule being introduced, and kind of cycle through those. If, for example, you master some of the rules, by the end of the first couple of scenarios, you're not really going to need to know what bridges or forests or some simple things like that do, and you can swap those cards out with other ones and not necessarily fill up the whole table full of these little cards, but at the same time not have to go looking through the rules book every time you're not sure of something. Then similar to Memoir 44 or Battle Cry or some of the other Command and Color games, you've got command cards such as these. So this unit, for those not, or this card, for those not familiar, would allow you to move 3 units in the middle portion of the board. You'd be able to activate those units with this card. This one here, you'd have 2 units on the left side and 2 units on the right side that you could move or activate. Then you've got these other tactical cards that would allow you to do different maneuvers with your troops, other than just the normal activate, move, and attack sort of thing with these other cards. And lastly, you've got rune cards that open up a whole nother level of strategy with BattleLore. So if I were to compare Battle Cry, Memoir 44, and and BattleLore. Those are the three Richard board games that I've played out of the series. I haven't played some of the other Command and Color games. But if I were to compare the three, I would say that BattleLore is the most complicated out of these light war games, and they're all light. But this one with the BattleLore, I mean with the lore cards, the War Council, the different races, there's more depth to this game. There's a little more complexity, but not so much that you should shy away from it if you think you might like this sort of game. So really, out of the three, I think you'd be best off picking the one with the theme that strikes you the most out of Memoir 44 and Battlecry and the other games, because they're all fairly similar, but once you get familiar with them, you'll start to really notice the differences in these the games in this series. So I've got some additional footage of BattleLore. It's some older footage that would give a better overview of the game. If anybody's interested, let me know and I'll try to resurrect that old footage. But that's an unboxing of BattleLore, the English version.